coverage. I am impressed with the coverage. For everybody who was really scared of vision coverage, man, this is how you play it correctly. You know,
it definitely seems like the players are they're having the ability to play faster than what they were. I know, Ty, you spoke on this before, so about how like matching versus vision and stuff like that.
Yeah. I will say the one thing I feel very good about, Jake, about a week and a half ago, gotta make that tackle, man. Gotta make
dude,
that
I know
tackle.
that. Well, the sack too.
Oh God.
Yeah.
So close.
But about a week and a half ago, I gave you and Coach Sean in our little group chat, I gave you my take on Ryan Williams, and I said he reminded me of two prospects that Alabama has had. Who did I tell you he reminded me of?
Oh my goodness. It was
Wait, hang on. You said Ryan Williams?
Yep, I said he reminds me of two former Alabama wide receivers combined into one.
Can I guess?
Yeah,
one of
go
them?
for it. Yep.
Amari Cooper had to be one of the best pure route runners we had coming in. So I would include Amari Cooper into that.
That's a great one. No? It wasn't.
Oh,
the two I said was Devontae Smith in terms of understanding how to get separation at the line of scrimmage, the intermediate portion, and deep in terms of how to play a defensive back. And the second was J-Mo in terms of pure explosiveness.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
And I feel pretty darn good about that call because he is insane.
Insane.
Good play, man. Jahad Campbell, guys, is playing an insane game of football right now.
Dude, everywhere. I mean, did you notice too, Ty? Did you see where they're playing him down on the line at Bandit and bringing him off the edge in a speed package?
He came to Alabama as a 5-star edge.
Which is what, dude. They throw Justin Jefferson right over at the sting because Jefferson's faster than everybody else, which is that position has to be fast. And on top of that, man, you see, you 100% Blake. You saw that too. You saw Q Russo out there, but then you got Q Rob on one end, and then on the other side, man, you tell you what, you bring down Jahad Campbell to rush off the Bandit, and you have this speed rush package. I mean, Womack is a dog, man. He is a stud play caller. And Brandon, we appreciate you, dog. Appreciate you. Yeah, Eric D, what's going on, man?
Tough. I know as much as y'all know, my man. I'm no insider. I'm just an opinion piece. That's what I always say. I'm just a fan with a microphone, like anybody else, right? Like so. I know what y'all know. I know his arm is in a sling, and in my opinion, that's kind of messed up what they wanted to do along the offensive line in terms of like the pinning and pulling, because we have to remember Pritchett was working it right tackle, but I mean, I think they've recovered very well. I think Pritchett has settled in pretty well. Rough start, but he's settled in.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. You got like the two guys, whether with Pritchett on one side and Formby on the other, and because we've seen Pritchett kind of have a few errors here and there. Granted, it's causing a lot of issues on the outside. Formby, for the most part, has done well. I mean, maybe he missed one or two over on the just on this last series, but dang, man, I'll tell you, if we can just get these guys, and this is that first game, but if we can get these guys like shored up and just be a little more confident, a little more recognizing some of these packages and trusting, and communicating, then I feel like we are right. We're right there, man. We're right there.
Brandon Lucas, thanks for the donation, $4.99. That's going to be to you, Ty. Linebackers are flying.
Yeah, no, they look fantastic. And it's so funny, guys? You talk about Justin Jefferson, Jake. He's a guy that I can imagine Brent Venables would love to get a hold of. I mean, granted, the OU defense, from what we saw the other day, yes, it's Temple. But the OU defense looked really good. Right.
They
terms of they definitely look evolved, deeper. But the reason I even bring up Oklahoma up is I think he's a guy that Brent Venables, if you're a scheme guy, right? Like Jake is a scheme guy. John's a scheme guy. I am learning scheme, so I'm like super into the X's and O's. Brent would love to have him as a cheetah, right? That hybrid linebacker, defensive back position, especially because they play that little bit of a modified 3-3-5 with that cheetah, usually down in the box. I mean, Justin Jefferson is just incredible at that. So yeah.
Yeah, well, dude, that's the thing, man. That's that stinger position for us. I mean, granted, a little different. Like there's different aspects, right, of that. As far as why it's a stinger and what it does, but I'll tell you, man, is you look at there's some really good comparisons, and what I think excites me about Alabama's defense in comparison to Oklahoma's defense. Alabama's defense is young, but yet you can see them out here making plays. This Western Kentucky team is supposed to be very good too. They're supposed to be good. So right now they're making them look semi okay.
I mean, they have a good defensive coordinator too, guys. And
they do.
Like
they do.
This is not some just scrub, you know what I mean, FCS team that we're playing.
No,
like they have the #1 scoring defense in the nation 2 years in a row. Not you know, in the nation, not their conference. I believe they had the #1, I can't, was it number 7th ranked defense last season. So I mean, and they play a multiple defense mixed between 3-4 and 4-3 and all that. So I did a little bit of reading on that. So
yeah, I see.
If I'm being overly critical, the one thing I want to see from the defense is on that 21 play drive, they were eating on the out routes. I mean, living on the out routes. That's something that's got to be cleaned up. I get it. Young defensive backs, that's probably an experience of youth, new scheme. But I also, y'all know me, I'm always going to be good, but I have a tendency, John, Jay, you get to record with me a lot during the season, but John knows I can be a little bit overly critical when we get to season. And if I may answer Anthony's.
Click on whatever you want. Click on. Do you have access to it or no? To click on it?
No, but Anthony, big Miami fan, great supporter of the channel. Anthony, do me a favor, subscribe to both of these guys. They're great. He says, Ty, what are your thoughts on Miami performance? So I'd picked Florida, and I might have to go into the Bleacher Report segment next week wearing clown makeup because Miami was
I picked Florida too, Ty.
Insane today. Hats off to y'all. I questioned Cristobal, but for the first time, it looks like Cristobal has his quarterback. And I mean, Cam Ward was nothing short of spectacular. Even the interception he threw, he threw it back behind his body. You probably shouldn't do that, but he's also one of those quarterbacks that can get away with doing things that you probably shouldn't do. And it was tipped. Right, yeah, a little stiff from Milrow right there.
Yeah,
I did. I saw that too. You guys did see the play before that too. Jeremy Bernard caught his pass over on the out route.
Oh, he did. So Jeremy Bernard is in the game, for God's sake.
Yeah,
there he is. I think he's at the bottom of the screen right there.
And we also have Richard Young at running back.
Yeah.
So, but no, I mean, Ty, you're spot on. I think Anthony, it's a great question. You know, at the end of the day, I'm going to be honest, I picked Florida too. I really thought that they had fixed some things and the culture was in place that Napier wanted, but obviously that wasn't. They have a lot to clean up, and I don't know if they'll be able to do that in time. So for their schedule. Yeah,
did it seem like Graham Mertz took a step back?
Yes.
Yeah, it did. Look at this.
And maybe that's just good. Maybe that's just good. Miami, right? But John, you're right. There were some throws that, and you know, being there is relative. Like he had some opportunities to make some throws, but I got to give credit where it's due, man. Those Miami defensive backs, they were draped like stink on poop, man. They were all over those wide receivers. Very impressive showing from Miami.
Corporate Duck says Florida fans are calling for Sunbelt Billy's job. Y'all think he gets fired? I put out a tweet today and I said that Miami lit the kindling under his seat. So
it's not
Emmanuel Henderson.
It's warm. It's a little warm, but
I will real quick an update. We have seen every wide receiver within the first 2 on the depth chart except Cole Adams at out playing or catching a pass.
Who's been
sorry.
No, I think Cole Adams was in there.
He was
Did you see him out there?
Yeah, Cole Adams was definitely out there. Richard Young, man, he almost got away from that.
I know. I thought the same thing. I thought
he was going to step out of that.
You are a little bit ahead of me now. It's like me and Jake's been rotating who's ahead of who.
Blake. I saw that too.
So I gotta say, man, Mertz. Just because I think Miami's defense is better than Georgia Tech's, and at least Georgia Tech was like moving, or Florida State was moving the ball. There was a lot wrong. Boy, he's explosive.
Wow. Great play, man. Great play. Do your thing, buddy. Do your thing.
Touchdown.
Yeah.
Alabama.
Roll Tide.
Truth. Ryan Williams has 2 receptions for 139 yards and 2 touchdowns at 17 years old. He should be in physics right now, and he's out here balling.
Dude, seriously, man. Seriously. You know what's crazy too is like you know, today, very interesting watching the different teams, right? That like some who looked very smooth, and then some you're like, okay, you know, like what are you going to be about as far as going to season? I think Texas was an interesting one. Granted,
it was. Texas
blew the doors off the team, right? Very similar to what Alabama's doing right now. But I will say that you look at Ohio State, and Ohio State did not put up all their points until late in the third quarter, like third and the fourth quarter. Like they did not, they were ahead. They were doing what they were supposed to do.
The offense did not look good.
It did not look good. And you're going, whoa, man, like what is going on? You know what I mean? So it's Ohio State's going to be an interesting one. Like, do we see them pick it up, or do they do the Ohio State thing? Because this is a Ohio State thing to do.
Yeah, play down.
This happens.
I mean,
they do.
Yeah, they tend to play down. And I'll be honest with you, I was excited for Camp Randall until I watched that Wisconsin game.
Yeah. Hey, another update, real quick.
Go ahead.
Jalen Milroe, 200 yards, 3 TDs in the air. Ba-boom. Ba-boom. Hey, guys.
Make some graphics to go across the screen here this next week.
Yeah.
Stephen G says Will Howard is just bad, Jake. But did anybody else see that? I mean, I haven't checked back in a while, but the quarterback that transferred to Syracuse, for whatever reason, my brain stopped working. I can't think of his name. He was making some beautiful throws. So at a certain point, I'm looking at Ryan Day being like, buddy, are you really the offensive guru that you were supposed to be? We'll see. And Truth, I got to be very honest to you, man. I got to be very honest about this. And some Bama fans, no Bama fan will be upset about this, right? Ryan Williams. I'm excited. Isaiah Bond's route running instantly looked better than it was at Alabama. And I think that Shepard has already kind of, for lack of a better word, sent 2 shots at the previous wide receiver coach saying that we had to teach these guys how to run routes. Shout out to y'all as wide receiver coach, man. Because all that route, the corner route he ran to get that touchdown where the guy grabbed his face mask, and like that was pretty. The release, he already looks like a better route runner than he was at Alabama. At Alabama, he was a great athlete, great straight line speed, and he wasn't a bad route runner by any of the stretch of the imagination. But like, I know Chris Jackson does that 7-cone drill. And that. I mean, look, I think you can see it with the Bama wide receivers and certainly Isaiah Bond. So,
yeah, no, it's true fact, man. That's very, very interesting.
So I want to ask.
Go ahead.
So I want to ask a question.
Mickey Leif, nice to see you in here, buddy. Thanks, buddy.
So I got to ask a question then. Were we too high on Holloman Wiggins? I was really high on Holloman Wiggins for a while. And did he get complacent maybe? Because he was in Alabama for a little while.
Dude, that's Cruz.
Yeah.
What is it?
That is Cruz, isn't it?
Oh, wow. Yep.
Wow. Okay.
We follow each other on Twitter, and he's sitting up there with Coach Saban.
Good for dude. He's just loving life, man, hanging out. Dude, good man. But
I was definitely too high on Wiggins. I was 100% wrong.
All right, so me and you. So I don't feel as bad now because I was sold on Wiggins. I get it; he's a great recruiter, but I honestly thought there was some development at the wide receiver position. But I don't know.
Man, I don't know. I thought Wiggins did. You mean he's not Shepard, right? He's not. And forgive me, I forget the wide receivers coach at Texas.
Oh my gosh, Chris Jackson.
Chris Jackson.
Chris Jackson
Jackson
right.
is the wide receiver coach.
He's
That's
also
what I'm talking about.
Passing game coordinator as well, I believe.
Oh yeah. So I mean, like he's not none of them. I mean, or whoever's for LSU,
Dude,
but at the same time, man,
fast sideline to sideline, bro.
Sorry,
Jesus, Ack. Jesus, none of that.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I love it.
That's how Texas killed us, man. Is like just that movement. Question. So we got a question from Stephen G. Oh, somebody else probably pressed it. Jake. All right. So question from how does it feel? We're finally talking about ball, not just football talk.
I love it.
Yeah, I mean, this is why we're in here doing this. Like me, like I just asked Jake yesterday. I'm like, hey, let's get some people together, whatever, and just do you know what I mean? A watch party. I think this is something that definitely needs to be more common.
Yeah, man. Like this is definitely fun. I hope everybody out there on Facebook, on the different platforms, everybody jumping in. I hope everybody enjoys this because it really is a good time. Jumping out here and talking ball, and it's football season. So I absolutely love it. Stephen G, glad you asked, man. And it's just pumped, man.
Did you guys see Tennessee today? Nico looks good.
Me and Ty were texting about that. Actually, it's funny.
Like he looks as advertised.
That's true.
Yeah, Nico looks tailor-made for that offense.
Yes. Oh my gosh, man.
They're going to be tough to stop. They're going to be very tough to stop. Awesome to see Coach Saban up there with Kool-Aid and Terry on. That was awesome.
So cool, man. I love that, dude. I love it. Hey Blake, this is I'm glad you bring this up, man. So this defense, I've been really high on this defense, right? I kind of told everyone, I said, just wait. You know, I've said it in different streams. I said, man, you just hold off. Like you will see this defense. It's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be exciting. You're going to see all the pieces come together. And one of the things that I brought up was like, hey, this last scrimmage for fall ball, for fall camp, one of the things that stood out was that the secondary played together and really trusted each other, right? Yeah. They trusted each other. That needed to happen. They needed to have that trust so they could finally play the way and the style they need to play. Now, there's still things that need to continue to progress and get better. Ty, you had brought up the out routes, right? Part of that is youth. We saw at one point, Zabian Brown playing, he was playing field corner. We saw Zay Mincy playing the boundary corner. Okay. And what's interesting about that is you have two guys there who now need to also learn part of this vision coverage is playing with your peripheral vision, right? Reading, making sure your eyes are on the QB, but also seeing what's around you. You know what I mean? So that's those out routes can really tease your peripheral vision because that's an easy thing to let it goes out of sight very quickly. So you got to really be disciplined and understanding that as soon as you see that disappear out of sight, especially at the angle, that you probably need to say, okay, if I, depending on my drop, I need to float a little bit this way. Again, though, you are reading the QB's obviously eyes, shoulder, elbow, and then movement to know where and when to break. But it's fun to watch. It's fun to watch. So
I'm just glad we're watching football. It's the little things in life, man. Football. You know what I mean? It just makes everything so much better.
Yeah.
It makes food taste better.
Yeah, that's a true fact. Should I look at all the food commercials right now? And then I see Chris Milroe is struggling. I don't know if he's necessarily like struggling. I would say there's definitely some areas where
would we say he was struggling?
I think in his like short intermediate, short field passes. I think he had a little bit. The ball was maybe just off here and there, but I think really what it came down to is I don't think he's struggling. I think number one, we definitely need to shore up the tackles. Like our tackles need to. They because the pocket's collapsing from the outside, and that's pushing Milroe either through the pocket or he's having to do a little dance to get outside of the pocket due to what's going on. So I think for him, though, the big thing is just them getting him into a rhythm. Like kind of they tried to do it a little bit at the beginning of the game, but then, you know, we had some issues with Pritchett, you know, so it's awesome. But yeah, we got Ty Simpson in, everybody. Let's go. Let's see what happens. Yep, just like that. Come on, Pritchett. Dude, you are getting beat.
Yeah, I'm a little bit behind.
Eric, you haven't seen much from Damani Jackson because they won't work. They won't even look his way. I've seen 3 or 4 times him jam a wide receiver into the next dimension, and I just laugh so hard every time. It's so funny. But I don't listen. I don't think it's Milroe struggling so much, Chris. The offensive line, Caden Proctor goes down with some sort of injury before, so now you have an offensive line that's shuffled around. The pass that was a little high to Jam Miller, the edge jumped up, and Milroe had to try and get it up over the edge. The first pass to Kendrick Law, I mean, that was a hair off, just a hair off.
Yeah.
He put a lot of juice on it. Would have loved to have seen that one completed, no doubt about it. If you if you really want to nitpick, Chris, that one is the one to nitpick as opposed to the Jam Miller swing because he had to get it over an edge in that pass. But the second touchdown to Ryan Williams, if you watch his helmet, he went from the first read to the second read.
Dude, yeah.
Oh my gosh, bro.
Phenomenal read. Dude, you're right.
Prentice.
That was beautiful. Beautiful. You're spot on. And yeah, Chicken, you're right. I know it's game one. It's game one. I'm jumping on, you know, I'm starting to go in like coach mode and player mode and look
Ty
at
Simpson with the run.
Oh, dude, he almost had it, but he tripped. Oh shoot.
Hey,
almost, bro.
But close your ears, Bama fans. Chris, to be 100% fair to you, man, I see Perry Thompson, Cam Coleman doing exactly. Listen, Chris, you got to give me credit, man. I've never questioned those guys. Y'all's wide receiver room is really, really good. Really good. And I know it's Alabama A&M University, but Cam Coleman's going to be a beast. Like he's just very good. Perry Thompson, very good. The other kid y'all got, and I don't know why the name escapes me, very good.
Yeah. No, that's true fact. But yeah, man, I think it's just interesting to watch it. I think you know, I try not to. You're right. It is definitely game one, so I don't like jumping too hard on different things. But there's little things where I'm like, ooh, you gotta, you know, that's like number 5. I'm counting number 5. All right, you know, where do you grade on film? And sometimes I gotta be like, okay, it's all good. It's all good. You know, we're up 49-0. I'm going to be honest though. You pitch a shutout for this game. I feel that is one hell of an accomplishment for game one for a defense that's supposed to be
100%
not saving defense anymore, right? You know what I'm saying?
Chris, I will grant you that the penalties, that's got to get cleaned up. The only, if I'm really trying to be positive about it, Chris, what I can say is whenever you go from what they were running before, an offensive line scheme to pin and pull, you're probably going to experience more false starts, holdings, just because of the difference in getting guys out in space. They're not as used to doing it. But you're 100% right. Listen, there's no excuse about that. That's got to be cleaned up. The penalties, that's got to be cleaned up.
Dude, Jalen Milroe is 7 for 9, 200 yards, 3 TDs in the air, 2 TDs on the ground with 79 yards rushing. Like,
yeah, that's ridiculous.
That is ridiculous. I think that's a touchdown. That should be a touchdown. Yeah, we're good. Touchdown, Alabama. Roll Tide.
He was, Chris. Ty Simpson was a 5-star.
Oh, dude, you're right, Pam. Daniel Hill, another freshman touching the ball, buddy.
Yep.
And
That's
Caleb
right.
Odom up there at the top.
Yep.
Wasn't
Hill like 5th on the depth chart? I think
no, I think he's 4th.
Is he behind Kevin Riley?
Yeah, I think so.
No.
He wasn't.
It's Justice Haynes.
Yep.
Jam Miller, Richard Young, Daniel Hill, Kevin Riley, and only Kevin Riley only because he didn't get the spring.
Oh,
yeah. It's going to be very talented. He's a great running back. But it's a loaded room.
Loaded. Oh my goodness, dude, this is crazy.
I'll rewatch it for sure. Truth.
Yeah. Wow. Hey, man, that's pretty cool though. You get 2 freshman touchdowns. And Mad Chicken, have a great night, buddy. Thanks for jumping in with us, man. Always appreciate you very, very much, man. We'll see you this week for sure through the different live streams and everything. So have a great day at work tomorrow. But pretty amazing though, right? Like you see these guys and you go, you just have to be really impressed with the youth and what they have accomplished so far. Just playing in this game, you know what I'm saying? Like the youth that we've seen on the field, what they've done between Ryan Williams being exactly who everyone's thought he was going to be, this electric playmaker, to Daniel Hill obviously scoring his touchdown, seeing the freshman DB rotation's been phenomenal. Man, it's exciting seeing Justin Onkoranko out there from the linebacker standpoint. Like you have to feel really, really good with the product that they've put out there to see 56 points and knowing there's still so much more room for growth. 56-0. And
you know what, guys? I haven't had a chance to see the tampering kicker ball yet. After all that discussion this week, and then the guy hasn't even had a chance to kick a field goal yet.
Man,
Graham Nicholson.
Yep, Graham Nicholson.
That's the one guy I did want to see. I'm like, okay, I want to see him hit a 50-yarder in this game because of all the talk. But
yeah, gosh, this defense, man. Holy smokes.
They definitely settled in. That's Bray Hubbard.
18. Dude, he's a tackling machine. Yeah. I'm going to be honest with you. When he's on the field, I have seen him. He flies up and makes plays. I'm impressed. See, boom, there he is again. He's come flying up. Yeah. Who's number 90? 90 and 96.
Is 90? Ooh, who is 90?
Who is 90 on the roster?
See.
Right? It might. 96 might be Edric Hill. Oh, no, 96 is Tim Keenan.
Tim Keenan, yep.
And 90, I'm not sure.
Yeah, Tim Keenan.
I know Beeman is 92. Caleb Jones in the game.
Beautiful coverage, man. Good job, Day. Deshaun Jones, everybody. Boom. Looking good. Good coverage, man. I mean, there's a good hand battle there, man. Good hand battle there. Yeah, I got to figure out who 90 is. I'm going to pull this up real quick.
I'll tell y'all who I'm really impressed with.
No, it's 50. Or is it? We're number 90 on it. No, who?
Who is it, Ty? Me too, man. I was going to guess that. I was going to say Ty's going to say Mbakwe.
Number 90 is Jordan Renaud.
Is that Renaud?
Renaud. Yeah, Jordan Renaud.
Oh God, he's going to be a monster. Okay, I didn't know he was at number 90 now.
Yeah, dude, I love it, man. Yes, I was like, man, who is it? Who is it? And yep, I love it. Love it. I know. I have like the first 2 to 3 depth chart here for the Western Kentucky game, but I don't have the full thing behind it. I got to make sure I get that next time.
Well, I mean, when you're reaching like that's 3 and 4 pages deep.
Yeah.
At this point.
I can't compare anybody to Joe Burrow, Chris. Not after that 2019
No
season.
way.
That's wild.
Dude. Burrow's a beast.
He is. I don't know. I want to say Mac Jones, but he's got a bigger arm than Mac. He's more mobile than Mac. He's got a liver arm than Mac in terms of off platform. Who would I equate him to?
Maybe who's gosh, I cannot believe I'm forgetting his name.
What team?
Nah, he played for Bama. I cannot believe I'm forgetting his name.
Coker?
Oh no, I don't think I wouldn't compare him.
Well, I'm just trying to get.
I guess.
No. Who was? Gosh dang it!
I would feel comfortable with something around AJ McCarron.
That's who I was. That's it. That's what I was going to say.
AJ McCarron maybe, but I think he has a better arm than McCarron.
But he's more athletic.
Yeah, he's definitely more athletic. But I think the way he's poised, the way he kind of carries himself, for sure, and the way he reads is AJ McCarron-ish.
Yeah, that's I get that feel when I watch him.
Yeah. Exactly.
Definitely more athletic for sure. I mean, you can see it right here. This is what this like plays like throws like that. You gotta just man, just calm down.
This staff is going to be so good for him. John heard my spiel about Ty Simpson, the high school he came from.
Yeah,
Jake, you might as well go ahead and tie both arms and one leg behind your back and go out there and block for him.
Really?
The blocking at his high school was atrocious. And it was one of those things where if he didn't do everything, and I do mean everything, they didn't win. Like there were times you'd see him do 720s in the pocket and then throw a strike because he had to.
Yeah.
Well, for him, like you said, it's about learning to let the play happen as opposed to trying to go make the play every single time, right? And this staff's going to be great for him. It's going to be great for him.
I think it's funny you bring that up because I think the whole in all you would have thought maybe we would have lost a quarterback within the portal, right? When Austin Mack came, besides obviously,
Eli Holstein.
Well,
and
yeah,
he's starting at Pitt.
Yeah, I saw that. Eli actually played a pretty decent game, but then also we lost from the freshman standpoint. We'll see if he gets playing time over at Ohio State. Forgive me, when they leave, I kind of just write it off. I'm just kind of like, peace later.
He's a hell of a talent, man. He's really good.
Great player. We'll see what he turns out to be, and honestly, we'll see what happens at Ohio State. To be honest, but
boys, 41 is in the game.
Whoa, yeah, maybe Justin Aranco.
We're not even in the fourth quarter yet.
Yeah,
I'm just seeing this. I love what this is going to do for recruiting, man. This is from a recruiting standpoint.
Yeah, no, I hear you, man. It's it's interesting because I think when you look at that quarterback room though, and why these guys don't leave is because you do have a guy like Nick Sheridan who can communicate what DeBoer sees and wants, but at the same time, you have guys like, you have guys like, Ellis, the tight ends coach, and Brian Ellis, who sits there, he also has this skill set that he can add in and say, but then you also have, and I can't believe I'm forgetting his name right now, but Nick Sheridan's assistant, and that's Mitch, gosh dang it, I cannot believe I'm forgetting right now of his name, but he was at Washington, where he was working under Grubb, but now he's over here working under Sheridan DeBoer, and he's kind of traveled with them from Fresno State to Washington to here. The guy's like, he's a future offensive court. I mean, the guy's going to be good. He's going to be phenomenal. And forgive me, I just cannot remember his name right off the top of my head right now, but man, he's a great assistant to be in those ears, and you really can give those quarterbacks, that time that they need to learn, but at the same time, teach them that patience, teach them those little nuances to say, hey, you don't got to necessarily rush this, right? Like that last play where we see Ty throw it away. Instead, you can say, hey, the pocket's collapsing, but if you can see, you don't have to necessarily get too worried too fast, because if you continue up into the pocket instead of outside, you won't be running for your life. Your blocker will then pick up because of you moving forward and him moving backward, right? Like he'll pick up that guy rushing off the edge. So just getting those little nuances in, and you feel better about it. And I think that's one of the big, that's one of the big ones that I think can really help him, Milroe, and everybody. So,
And don't forget, Jamarcus Shepard was the co-offense coordinator at Washington with Ryan Grubbs, right? So even our wide receivers coach has that input and that influence on the offense directly with DeBoer as well.
Yeah, he's our passing game coordinator, and so that's it. I mean, which this is awesome that he gets to do that even now with Sheridan, right? Because you get that kind of that. Everybody's there. There's no egos, right?
Yep.
The egos are gone. So now you're working as a team to figure out how to put everybody in the right place to make the right play.
Yeah, it's wild because I know most people think Nick Sheridan's calling the plays, but you know what I mean? Like it's so different because I read a couple of articles where Kalen DeBoer talked about how he brought along Nick Sheridan. I'm talking about at Washington, right? And Jamarcus Shepard, and how this plan kind of fell in place where Jamarcus already learned the co-offense coordinator role right when he was at Washington. So it was important for him to bring Nick Sheridan on as the offense coordinator and teach him the ropes as well. So no, and you're right. And all that works for exactly what you said, man. You cannot have an ego and work in a system like this, right? That he's built.
Yep. But I mean, that's the truth. And it's interesting because like Sheridan had called this offense at Indiana. So he had previously already called this, right? So he kind of has a feel for everything as it is already. But I think then you look at him going to Washington because he was the scapegoat at Indiana when Penix got hurt.
Yeah.
And then they fired Sheridan because they said, oh, you're not, well, Penix was your dude, man. And he got hurt. So they fire Sheridan. Well, DeBoer brings him with him to Washington, coaches tight ends there, right? He gets to see the system under DeBoer, and it's pretty amazing to watch him progress. And now he's in that position to call this offense with obviously DeBoer and Shepard. And it's obviously we're seeing the results. That's for sure.
No, 100%. And if you guys haven't already, make sure go check out Set the Tone, obviously Around the Table Sports with Ty, and then Bama Talk with John here, and subscribe, guys. Check out also Alabama Nation Facebook's page. Make sure to follow them. Some great content coming out constantly. Let's see here. Now back over to the game. 56-0 entering in the fourth quarter. I'd have to say I love the fact.
Goodness.
There's a goose egg on that board I love.
Justin Argronko wanted to just
take his arm off, dude.
He wanted to
take his arm off. Mm-hmm.
So, John,
dude, you know he's having a game.
Who
is James Smith?
Yes.
James Smith is a baller.
Yeah, two pass deflections right there, right? Number 23.
Yep. So, John, last December, Coach Sean and I did a video together, or did a live, where we were kind of reacting to early signing day. And someone in chat, maybe it was even Chicken, because Chicken, even though he's an OU fan, he shows great love and support to all of us over here. It was either Chicken. Someone asked me, they're like, who do you think is like the gem of early signing day? And I said, Justin Argronko, 3-star. Coming in from Germany. Nick Saban said he'd be a 5-star if he was in the U.S. That kid is insane. Absolutely an insane athlete.
Yeah, so I'll compare that to an Oklahoma recruit then, Floyd Bacard. If he would have been in the U.S. and not Canada, I felt like he wouldn't have been a 3-star as well, because he went over to, I believe he went to IMG for his, or IMG or no, not IMG. Sorry, Miami Central.
Yes,
Down there in Miami for his senior year coming out of Canada, and a lot of people said they were a little behind on him as well. So yeah, it's a really good point.
Yeah. I mean, that's the truth. And LA, I love this, man. For the first game, we are light years ahead of where I thought we would be, especially defensively. I think everybody right now is in like, whoa.
You know who's not doing that right now? Everybody else in the SEC thinking this is going to be a downturn.
Yeah, well,
you know they're thinking like, are we really going to have to put up with this for 15 more years,
dude?
I'm not saying the dude's Nick Saban by any stretch of the imagination, but what I am saying is this could be a problem if you're not an Alabama fan.
100%, man.
Which I love it.
Yeah, I mean,
there's some great coaching right now in the SEC, bro. When you look at this across the board,
I know.
Arkansas with Bobby P back on his motorcycle, putting up like 70 points.
Green looked phenomenal.
Oh, Taylor Green, dude, amazing.
Yeah,
like they literally did not punt one time, right? So,
Arkansas.
Do what?
You know, I be honest with you, Ty, I haven't even checked in because we've been watching this game.
7-14 against Idaho.
That's it.
Really?
Well, here's
4:15 left in the third.
Here's the thing is I kind of said this. I said, everybody's like, well, they got Dylan Gabriel. He's going to be a freaking lights out. Dylan Gabriel's good, but Bo Nix had a different feel. He had 2 years in that offense. And on top of that, like he was able to manage the offense, manage the team. I think he had the right like leadership for it too. And he was kind of like that perfect mix. Dylan Gabriel should be a better version of Bo Nix, but I don't know. That was one of the questions I had is I was like, you know, does Dylan have that same, does he bring what Bo brought as far as leadership, as far as getting the team on his back and kind of taking him in a direction, right?
He definitely doesn't have the athleticism Bo had. Bo had that sneaky athleticism, which I could not stand as an Alabama fan. You know what I mean? I was always giving Bo Nix a hard time since he came to Auburn as a freshman. And I had to hear it when he went to Oregon and did really well. But and Texas A&M Notre Dame, a defensive fight right now, by the way.
I need A&M to pull that out.
Yeah.
At Kyle Field, which is not an easy place to win, as I was there when we lost, when we were number 1 a couple of years ago.
Oh, man. Got it. Just settle down. Settle down.
Ole Miss, guys. Ole Miss is up 73-0 in the third quarter.
Well, everybody.
Wow. The SEC has been fantastic, and I speak for all SEC fans that we annexed Florida.
Yeah, exactly. Because even Vandy pulling the Virginia Tech win.
Bro.
God, I can't believe how wrong I was about Miami, Florida.
Yep, me too. Woo! Look at who was in the game, everybody.
See, that
should be Kevin Riley. Yes,
Kevin Riley is such a complete running back, man.
He's fast, real fast.
I love the fact that we see motion, we see sweeps, we see movement and creativity in this offense, which it seemed to lack under Tommy Rees.
Not just Tommy Rees, Bill O'Brien. Bill
O'Brien too
gave the play. Like I always feel like Bill O'Brien lazily called the play into Bryce and was like, I don't know, man. Like we'll do this, I guess, and whatever. And then Bryce was out there like figuring everything out to try and stay alive.
Yep, no, I agree. Trojan Fight says not every plug and play QB from the portal is going to pan out. No, and you're absolutely correct. We've seen it through the years where it doesn't work out. DJU, you know what I mean? He goes to Oregon State, looks pretty good, right? So they feel confident him coming into Florida State. And look, the same thing's been preached about him that you could preach about a multitude of others that we talked about earlier. Past 15 yards, you're going to see some inconsistency from these guys.
There's Caleb Odom. But if I may, for Dylan Gabriel, gentlemen, he's 32 of 37 for 303 yards.
So it's not on him.
They only have 67 rushing yards on 25 attempts. That's the issue. Gabriel, I don't know how you have 300 yards on 32 of 37
in 14 points.
That's impressive.
Well, what's his average yards per play? Like, what's his average per throw? Is it like 5 or 6?
No, it's
or is
8.2. I mean,
so it's not
it's
bad.
not great, but it's not bad. Yeah, to your point. And what I would say, John, is because you're 100% right about DJU. But my thing with Norvell's offense is that addition never made sense to me because Mike Norvell's offense always to me, and I said this to Jake in February, it feels to me like you pass the controller as you were playing Madden to your little brother, and the only thing he's doing is running goes.
Yeah.
Like, no, you're absolutely right.
It just feels weird. Yeah, they have issues.
We definitely are seeing we got Niquel Veteran in. We're definitely seeing some of our second and third string guys in getting some rotation.
How do you say his name? Alinen?
Alinen.
How do you say his last name?
Alinen. I believe.
Alinen. There we go. See, I struggle. Yeah, I struggle with some of these names.
Well, beautiful play. Beautiful play. Good route.
Man.
Caleb Odom with the catch.
What's the flag going to be, though?
I know. Holding.
You guys are like at least, about 15 seconds ahead of me.
Yeah. Is that holding on defense or offense? I was holding on defense. It was defensive holding. Nice. Well,
have you guys noticed too how much more energy there is on the sidelines? Is it
because they're having fun?
Yeah, exactly. Like Jalen Milroe said, they're having fun. It's great to see that.
So it's crazy because Will Anderson said something. And once again, y'all, I have multiple books on Nick Saban behind me, so this is not anti-Saban. I'm one of the most pro Saban people you'll ever meet. But jeez, he got nailed.
He got drilled.
Yeah, he got drilled.
Drilled.
Can you say it one more time? Oh my gosh, yeah, I see what you mean.
But what I'll say is, Will Anderson said a few years ago, you remember this, John, that they were playing with anxiety. And it's so crazy to me because you actually just heard Nick Saban not too long ago speaking to the Bears head coach about pressure and how it can be a player's like most detrimental thing is the pressure. And I think that it wasn't even Nick Saban creating the pressure, but Bama under Nick Saban had gotten to a point where there was so much pressure on these players that it just was like, I don't know. I just feel like with Kalen DeBoer there, it's almost like lifted that pressure and now they're having fun. And I don't think that's a Saban problem, but I think it's a product of playing for the greatest coach, certainly of our lifetime. I believe the greatest college coach ever. I just think that it was like the expectations became too much.
I literally just made a video a couple of days ago. It says Nick Saban standards, and it was about my unbiased opinion of the University of Alabama needing Nick Saban to retire because of the opportunity presented with Kalen DeBoer. And same thing, and I quoted a couple people, players too, talking about how same thing, how it became people were walking on eggshells and it became a pressure cooker, not because Saban's yelling and throwing a fit, but because, like you said, when the expectations are so high for so long, something has to give eventually. Like it's literally a pressure cooker, and there's no way to relieve it because the expectations are so high, year in and year out.
I'm gonna be honest, guys. I don't think that that's targeting or roughing the passer. I'm going to keep it 100. I think that's a DB making a good play on a quarterback attempting to make a throw. I don't blame Ty Simpson for throwing an interception. Hell of a play by the defensive back, but I don't think that's targeting or roughing the passer. That's just football.
I don't think so either. I will tell you this, though. Pritchett is going to have the worst grade after this game. It's not even funny.
Yeah, he's been beat all night.
Dude,
not all night, but
no, he is getting his ass smoked all night. That's like the eighth one. I'm literally keeping track. Yeah, it's Pritchett.
It is
absolute, dude. He's like not moving his feet. He's reaching when he's blocking. I'm going like, dude, you are about to have the worst.
Was it a cat blitz? Was like a. DB coming in along the edge, or was it just like straight? Because I didn't see that aspect of it.
No, I mean they just basically came right downhill at him. They like
I don't.
like. Let me go. I didn't see that.
Sorry.
Great
So the
play.
targeting rule, did you guys notice how they did? Because I talked about this a while back too, how they changed the verbiage, by the way, to make it more generalized, talking about severe strike. So basically it puts, I hate when they do this stuff, guys. They put it in the hands of the refs to make a judgment call.
Wait,
right?
Did they confirm that as targeting?
Yes, they did, because
That
it's
was a
considered a
terrible
severe. I believe they did, for being a severe strike.
That's a terrible call.
Yeah, because once again, you're putting the game in the hands of the refs when you put that verbiage in for this stuff, man. It's kind of like AI with palming the ball, right? So it's kind of on the refs to make the call or not. Now it's become that completely.
Yeah.
With targeting.
This is a perfect third, and we'll get the first down. But if there's a 1 yard gain here, first down, watch Odom for the touchdown strike.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, what a keep.
Good job. Good job. Good job.
Wait, Blake, so I'm confused. If it wasn't targeting, because I'm prepping the Bleacher Report stream right now, so I'm kind of doing multiple things. If it wasn't targeting, what was the penalty that it negated the interception?
I think it was roughing the passer.
It was roughing the passer?
Yeah, which I'm going to be honest with you. I think that was a weak call. Yeah, it was roughing the passer. Yeah.
And listen, the reason I don't agree with that is because if the shoe was on the other foot, like if that was a Bama DB that just smoked a quarterback that was in the process of still, like the ball came out wonky, which means that he, I don't know. I just look at it from the perspective of like, if that was a Bama DB and he smoked a quarterback throwing the football like that, would I think that was roughing the passer? And absolutely not. But hell of a response by Ty, right? Like great read there.
Seriously.
He could be a great quarterback.
I mean, well, you think about that too, like for a guy, I mean, he's tough. He just showed his toughness because the dude just got smacked. I'm going to tell you right now, when you get hit like that, right under the chin, and your helmet and your chin strap goes up, hits you in the nose, and your eyes start to water. It's not a good feeling. And a lot of guys that can kind of shake them a little, but man, you could see it. You could see it in his face and his eyes, but man, he pulls it back down. He's like, okay, I'm good. I'm good. And next thing you know, he pulls it in and goes, takes it to the house, man. Like, yeah, maybe we do see some Austin Mack, Blake. Maybe.
I didn't see that Trojan, but I'm not going to lie to you. The code on the helmets didn't make much sense to me anyways, because like, how in the world? It's only the first row of people that are going to be able to do anything.
Seriously.
The camera's not going to be able to pick that up as you're, halfway up the stadium. That little cute. I thought it was something cool to get clicks, to get like people talking about Oklahoma State, which that might have been all it was for, guys, is just like, hey, let's increase our impressions, right? And if it was, brilliant.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, no, good point. Good point. Hey, Brensky, good to see you, buddy. Thanks for jumping in, dude. Love it, man.
It made more sense why Colorado put the Instagram handles on the jerseys. You could at least see that.
Exactly.
That's for sure. But I got to say, though, with everything that we're seeing out here, because from this standpoint too, just so everybody understands, and those of you in the chat, again, thank you guys for joining in and hanging with us this evening as we watch Alabama kick ass. But one thing I wanted to bring up was, Western Kentucky was not supposed to be some pushover game. Granted, would we cover the spread? Of course, that is expected. But what did I expect a blowout? No, because if you look at Western Kentucky and you've seen what they've done offensively, they've been this like spread attack for such a long time. They've put up some really good numbers offensively. They've been able to score on their opponents. They've done some really good things. So for them to come in here and get, just completely demolished, right? Like, I mean, demolished. I think they've only made it into the red zone twice, you know, and that was due to the fact of field position. I mean, it's 4 and out, 4 and out, 4 and out, turnover, 4 and out, 4 and out, 4 and out. And so you got to say, man, I am very excited and pleased with everything I've seen defensively, with the things I've seen offensively. There's a lot to clean up, of course, but to say, man, you put up this many points and shut a team out, dang, how long before we get DeBoer statue? All you got to do is win a natty, right?
This year, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I'm feeling.
That's a possibility.
I'm feeling that.
Another thing, man, when Ty gets back, I'll bring it up, get his thoughts on the possible transfer portal changes coming up that's going to change everything when it comes to the transfer portal and recruiting. I don't know if you've had a chance to look into that or not, but the NCAA is proposing, and it's actually very soon, it could be implemented by this October, that you only have one portal window that will only be during the winter time for 30 days and get rid of the spring window altogether.
Yeah, I love that.
That's going to change a lot, because when you transfer in December and you don't win that job, or you're the starter that loses that job, you're there right? You're there for that season. You're not going nowhere.
Not going
nowhere. Yeah, it's going to change a lot, and it's going to definitely make you more accountable. I think that's why they're doing it. It's going to make you just think about
role. That's right.
So I think they're just trying to create more continuity with the roster management for people like Courtney Morgan, the GMs of the world, right? So they can kind of depend on and know where they're at when it comes to their rosters. So,
well, I also think, you know, you put a decision to go anywhere you want into young adults' hands. They're not always going to make the right decision. Sometimes it's an emotional decision. Sometimes they don't feel like they're being treated fairly, when really you just need to toughen up and work harder, right? Like you just need to learn that in life, you just don't get every single opportunity that comes around. And if it doesn't work out, then you have to go, you can just bounce somewhere else and get another opportunity to be a superstar. It doesn't work that way in life. Half these kids are not going to play in the NFL, more than half of them. Shoot, I think it's only like 1% goes to the NFL. So these guys are all going to go into the real world, have regular jobs, be normal people every day, have just like what we all do. The truth is it comes down to it. You need to learn how to face a little bit of adversity and work your tail off to earn what you get. And I think that cutting down that transfer rule, it helps kind of add us back a little bit of grit, right? Add us back a little bit of toughness, and saying, you know what, suck it up, embrace it, and go be the best you can where you're at. Quit trying to make excuses. And don't get me wrong, there are some situations that it does work better for the kids, right? But for the most part, you know, like you can transfer once. Okay, I get transferring one time, but having unlimited transfers, right? Like, like look at TJ Finley. He's on school 4. What has it done for you though? When have you found continuity, right? When have you found you've had to face some like adversity of just earning your way in? You just go place to place trying to find somewhere to get you to the NFL. That doesn't work like that. So, you know,
you lose those Mac Jones of the world, right? So Mac Jones sat and waited his time, and they said he was the best practice player for 3 years, right? So, and you think about that, and he talked about when he went to the NFL, he's like, that's why I'm in the NFL. That's literally what he said. Like, that's what got him there.
Yeah, 100%.
He's like, as you're practicing against the best defense it feels like every year in and out and practice, and when it is your turn, you should be ready.
That's why Ty Simpson's going to light it up when he gets his turn.
I agree. 100%, dude. 100%. I mean,
look at the coaches smiling and laughing and having like, it's so much different.
I mean, look at Daniel Hill, man. Look at how I'm impressed with how explosive he is when he touches that ball. You know what I mean? Hitting the hole. Like he is hitting that hole hard. Yep. His short area quickness looks good. His pad level's really good. You know what I mean? His knee drive is really good. Love
Who did
it.
we just talk about that? That sounds very familiar to. That's Ackland Deer.
Mm-hmm.
That
That's
short
right.
area burst is insane.
I mean, Ackland Deer is on a whole nother level. It's going to be fun to see him in this offense. But yeah, look at this. I mean, he's powerful too. He's powerful. So I see Blake has a question here. It's an interesting question. You know, what do you guys think?
I think Georgia's really good. I think their
Mhm.
defense is monstrous. And the thing I think people don't realize is Georgia is not even healthy right now. Right.
Mhm.
So 2 defensive tackles didn't play. They're, half their running backs didn't play. They're injured. I think this offense is very consistent. Right. So they know they're not going to make a ton of explosive plays right now. But scoring on that team is going to be no small feat.
Mhm.
You're gonna have to work for every yard against Georgia. It's a typical Kirby Smart defense.
We have got to account for Nate Frazier out the backfield.
Yeah.
That's one of the things Western Kentucky had some early success with.
Mhm.
Is the linebacker still kind of feeling out this vision coverage.
Mhm.
Dropped a little deep, and Finley would hit the underneath guy. That's going to be Nate
Mhm.
Frazier. Let me tell you something. Kid ran a 10.5 800-meter dash. You don't want to let him get the ball in open space because he will go.
Look at Dylan Lonergan. Man, looking
Great
good.
block.
Mhm.
I think Blake, can Alabama beat Georgia? Yes, right? Because Bama is going to get and let's be honest here. Well, also don't forget about Rod Robertson. Like kid's like 240 pounds. I think he's going to be a beast. He's hurt. Next weekend's going to be no easy task. USF, the type of offense they play, and they are beating up on Bethune right now.
Yeah.
And their running backs are really doing a lot of work there. So I think I've continuously said this, guys. USF is a game I'm so excited about, and not Branson. It's Rod. I like Rod a bit better than I like Branson. Blake.
My Branson Robinson. Branson Robinson, is that his name?
Yeah, there's Branson Robinson, and then there's Rod.
Rod. Okay, I got you.
And Rod, I think, is he's the one who had toe surgery. So he might not even be ready by the Alabama game, to be very honest with you. But I'll say this: we need to figure out what's going on with Caden Proctor, because we're gonna need him in that Georgia game.
Yeah,
agreed.
Ain't cut that ain't gonna work.
Hopefully, it was just like a strain or something. You know what I'm saying? Because they're saying, "Hey, man, you don't need to play this game, right? Like, let's just make sure you're healthy." You know what I mean? Like, those are always, especially the way he's holding his arm. So, you know.
You know what else is nice to see, in my opinion, is that, look, nothing against Nick Saban, but these are the times where we run the ball 20 times in a row, and they're still playing football.
Yeah.
They're not just playing these freshmen or somebody that's deep on the depth chart just to play them to run the ball, right? They're actually getting to play the offense.
Yeah.
So, and the defense as well. So, yeah.
This is what you love about watching Kayla and DeBoer, though, and this offense, is that when they do get into these positions, what they're doing is they're shoring up, they're establishing their competitive depth. I love that word, or that saying, because in the end, you know, it's the evolution of the tide, right? Like, we are watching it, we're watching it evolve, we're watching it build, we're watching the things that work, so that way when we do get into positions where we need that help or we need to dig into our depth chart, these guys have familiarity within the offense. They have familiarity of the game, and understanding their role and how they can impact it. And man, I love that. I love that way. It's not just getting into your twos, but now you're getting into your threes, maybe even your fours, right? Like, you're getting guys out there, and guys are getting a chance to work through that thought process and learn how to process things quicker to be, you know, continue to grow as players.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%, man. It's, yeah.
Yeah.
There's just there's a lot to take away from this game, right? So I mean, there's a lot to talk about. And by the way, guys, Fresno is giving Michigan all they can handle.
I have got to dip out, guys. I am about to host the Bleacher Report post-game show. If y'all have the Bleacher Report app, check me out.
Make sure to check it. Tell her where they can find you at.
You can find me at Around the Table Sports. You can find me at Bleacher Report, Bama Standard, here, everywhere where they allow me. All right, y'all.
Have fun.
All right, brother. Peace, man. Have a good show. Thanks, Ty. Man, Tyrone, I hear you, brother. I need more discipline. Roll Tide. Yeah, man, for sure. I think, one of the things I've been harping on that a little bit throughout this game is just, cleaning some stuff up. Granted, it is game one. There's some things. I think my top concern out of this game, if I walk away, is saying, Pritchett, you need to get in. You need to get in line, bro. You need to get in line. Everybody else is pulling their weight, and you, for some reason, are getting your ass smoked off the edge every few plays. So what's going on here? Like, man, you need to step up. Granted, I get it, left tackle. You haven't played it, but tackle is tackle, right? Like, let's get out there. Let's do your job. Okay. So even when he's at right tackle, he's getting smoked. So there's something that they definitely need to hit. Like I said, his post game the meetings tomorrow or Monday, depending on how they do this week because of Labor Day. Pritchett is going to have a rough meeting. I know what those are like. I've had one of those meetings myself. So those are not fun to grade out like that. So. Yeah.
Just to give you guys some score updates. Ole Miss is up on Furman 76-0. Notre Dame is up on Texas A&M 13-6. Michigan is on top of Fresno State 10-6? 16-10, sorry. And then Oregon's beating Idaho 17-7. Yeah, it's a little underwhelming, to say the least.
Yeah.
And Blade more, let's go Fresno State. And the thing about it is, too, about Georgia, we don't know how much of Georgia we saw today.
Yeah.
Right? So that's another thing to think about.
The good news, here's where I'm at with that Georgia game, though. Georgia's going to come out. They're going to beat Georgia. We saw some things they did really well. We saw areas where they also need to clean up, right? But one thing about Georgia is I will feel way better once we have 4 games to get us. We have 2 more games after this. Yeah. 2 more games after this to get us kind of locked in and feeling the flow. That's what I love about this and why I'm excited, because we see the success, but we also see all the areas, right, that we can grow, and we can continue to go up, right? I don't see us flatlining. So I would feel really good game 4 facing Georgia, especially after a bye week, right? We both have bye weeks. It's gonna feel good. So
no, there's no doubt about it. I would feel a lot different if Georgia was that first game on the schedule where Western Kentucky's at. I'd be definitely a lot more worried. But
yeah, maybe to an extent.
I guess, especially without Proctor.
Well, that would probably be the part where we'd definitely be in a fight for sure. This wouldn't be like this, but yeah, I mean, their defense looked great too. So, granted, I wasn't quite sure what they were doing. Clemson was doing with some of their play calling. What they were trying to establish. There's a little confusion there for me, but that's just my take on it. They have their game plan that they want to work through, their progression through the game, what they think they can attack them with, A, B, and C and D plans. So we'll see, but yeah. So we'll see.
Penn State bringing the wood again. When it's not Michigan and Ohio State, they tend to bring the wood. They smack around in West Virginia.
Penn State definitely played up to their expectations. So that's for sure.
Oh man, I'm just glad we got this first game out of the way. Put up 63 points, and we got to see what this was going to look like. So I think that was pretty important. Now, I'm assuming this is the length of the drives, guys. Correct me if I'm wrong, but so going through every single TD here, here's how long these drives lasted. The first TD, 41 seconds. Second one, 1:31. The third one, 1:19. The fourth one, 1:04. The fifth one, 33 seconds. The sixth one, 15 seconds. Then 4:10, 2:47, and 3:58. So the moment Milroe went out of the game, pretty much outside of that last drive, when the 9-play, 61-yard drive, which took 4 minutes. Before that, you saw nothing longer than a minute and a half.
Yeah.
You're talking about explosive.
Yeah.
Wow.
Man, unbelievable. Unbelievable. Like looking good.
And another thing I wanted to check on here was I wanted to see, let's see. Yeah, Michigan scored, by the way, up 23-10. Looks like they're going to be able to handle Fresno State, but that's not. Yeah. And Idaho just scored. So Oregon's up on Idaho 17-14 in the fourth with 9:45 left.
Wow. Could you guys imagine if that happens?
You know, Oregon was one of the people that a lot of people picked them to win the Big Ten, including myself. I said they had a chance to win the Big Ten. They are. Yeah, I don't. Let me see what's going on here. Let me go into the box score to see if there's anything kind of staring me in the face. Dylan Gabriel's putting on a hell of a show. Let's see here. Man, what is going on here? Let me go to team stats. Maybe something glaringly. No, dude, they're 7-13 on third down while Idaho's 1-9. 415 yards to Idaho's 223. Dude, I don't understand what's going on here. And then they got one turnover apiece. Oregon controls the. What is Oregon doing? They're driving the field and just not putting up points.
Yeah, I don't know if Idaho's just stepping up and showing, what they're about, right? I think that's what's impressive if you have a defense like that, man, that you can step up and make those plays. That's phenomenal. I will say this is, Alabama looks like they're potentially about to score again. I would love to see them put up 70-0. Come on, buddy.
That means that we would have surpassed Nick Saban's highest scoring, right? Because most he scored, I believe, was 66 at Alabama.
Well, I think that's what we'll see what they do. They're making a decision right now.
Because that's going to be a talking point, right?
Oh, they're doing it, bro. They're doing it.
They're this is going to be a talking point. This is going to be this right here is going to piss off a lot of people. It's not Alabama fans.
Oh, beautiful job. Beautiful job. Wow. Good job, buddy. Kevin Riley, man, putting the hand in the ground, getting that first down. Absolutely love it, bud. That's yeah. And they're just going to take the knee.
I bet they will. I'm a little bit behind you, so I hope not, man. I want to see them reach 70.
Nah, they're taking the knee.
Yeah, I know. He just gave him the headset, so yeah, they're done.
All right, man. Good stuff.
0. So the DeBoer era starts off with a complete shutout, by the way. Don't overlook that. While that team got in the red zone twice and didn't allow a single point either time. Multiple turnovers. Keon Sabb playing that role, right? So, you can get down here, but I mean, you're going to score any points.
That's right, man. That's right. Well, guys, I got to bounce. I appreciate everybody who jumped in tonight, like 100%. We are covering a post game. I'm heading over to Saturday night snap count. And John will, I think you might be jumping on with.
Yeah, I'm jumping on. I'm jumping on with that. Yeah, Coach Sean.
Perfect. But we appreciate everybody jumped in here tonight. Thank you, everybody who tuned in and checked us out. Ty is over at Bleacher Report doing his post game. We appreciate you guys. We're going to be trying to do this every weekend unless we are at the game. And if that is the case, we will be live streaming from the game. So
exactly.
Very much appreciate everybody jumped in from Facebook, from X, from Twitter. It looks like, or nope, looks like from YouTube, all over from the different platforms. Make sure you come check us out. Find me over at Set the Tone CFB. Set the Tone CFB. And John.
Yep. Other than that, Bama Talk with John, College FB Lewis on Twitter, or X, whatever you want to call it. And obviously, guys, should make sure to check out Alabama Nation, the Facebook group, to follow us on there as well, as we'll be doing a lot of stuff through them. Other than that, we'll catch you guys next game because this game is over and we both got post games to go to. So, yeah, make sure to go check those out. It was fun. And as always for you guys, roll Tide.